Chaz Thronkell had just finished packing his car with various amusements. He had been collecting donations for months to shuttle off to the Ronald McDonald House. As a youth whose family was brought great comfort during a terrible time, he wanted to pay it forward with various games and toys for any siblings of sick children staying in their care. It turns out, however, that in those rarely questioned assumptions of youth that follow us well into adulthood, there was a misunderstanding regarding the nature of said house. Chaz's spirits were high as he set off. His favorite jingle even came on the radio, a particularly catchy tune advertising adult diapers with pockets, truly marking the lack of function in the pocketless models as downright barbarous. The drive was longer than he remembered, but, Thronkell mused, smiling to himself, you don't measure charity with miles. Plus, hindsight is 20/20. Chaz arrived at the McDonald estate and parked his car next to a festive carriage. The driveway was littered with graves, and there was an unfathomable horror feasting on a pile of meat product. It was covered in some sort of sauce, salmon in color, with lumps of relish throughout. Even from his passing glance, Chaz could tell that it was very special. The doorbell, too, was strange, as in there wasn't one. Instead, a big red nose lay ripe for the honking in the direct center of a giant mahogany door, glistening with a glaze of dew. Or was it sweat? Chaz timidly placed his hand on the bulb and was sickened to feel a throbbing warmth emanating from it. Despite his disgust, he gave it a hearty squeeze. The bulb's collapse sent a thunderous honk throughout the massive structure, echoing and rebounding in such a way that it seemed a deafening chorus of wet trumpets. And just as the sound became too much to bear, the doors burst open and a flock of chicken-type product with wings and fangs erupted from within. Thronkell entered. He found it strange no one was there to have opened the door, but hindsight is 20 McNuggets for $6. He was immediately struck by a series of oil paintings of what must have been people of great importance. Inanimate as these red-lipped mouths were, Chaz swore he could hear them whispering directly to him. They sang the song of centuries from within the corners of his mind. At the end of the gallery, Chaz happened upon a beautiful arrangement of food product atop an elegant antique table. He was feeling a bit peckish, so Chaz helped himself to several McFishes. At room temp, they must have been sitting out, but Chaz preferred it that way. He shied away from hot food in general ever since he burned his tongue by repeatedly holding lit matches to it. All of a sudden, his stomach composed a pocketed diaper jingle of its own. His legs got heavy, and so did his eyelids. His thoughts grew confused. He shat his pants and then collapsed into food-poisoned unconsciousness. From beyond where time has meaning, Chaz felt a distant shuffling and tickling on his skin. The punctuation of an occasional pinch brought him closer to consciousness. A few more of these bee-like stings in his heavily lidded eyes slowly began to open. Strange creatures spun from the yarn of a potato were laying eggs in his hair and skin. Chaz screamed the scream of a man-turned-incubator. Just then, the chamber door exploded open and a man adorned in shock-bright robes of primary yellows and reds burst into the chamber. The critters scrambled and fled as the creature bellowed, "Here's mine!" Chaz leapt from the bed and tore off in unknown directions as the peals of this painted demon's laughter surrounded him. He had no idea where this room was in relation to the exit. One thing was certain, though. He would never find the donations bin in this maze if he couldn't reorient himself. He flung himself down corridor after corridor, past chamber after chamber, each exposing him to new horrors and new blasphemies. Backed into a dead end with the clown closing in, Thronkell was left with 0 choices, 1 window, and $20 menu hindsights. But in a flash of luck during this most unluckiest of evenings, a thick green moat cushioned his fall. As he struggled to surface, a sweet mint flavor filled his mouth and lungs. An unexpected sugar rush gave him the extra push to breach the surface and scramble to the banks. He spotted his car when he heard a distant squeaking, or creaking? A pack of wild balloon wolves were pacing him in the surrounding forest. They howled at the moon, snarling in hunger. Chaz grabbed the handle. "It's open!" A ravenous chomp sought meat, but with no true mouth to execute it, Chaz was bounced right into the driver's seat. Thronkell jammed the lock down. He dug furiously through his pockets, but his keys, they were gone? Had they fallen out in his escape? Or had they been burgled? Chaz threw it in neutral in hopes that the incline he was on would get the wheels rolling. It worked! Chaz was getting out of... Huh? An odd shape was approaching the wreck. Chaz, in a daze and somewhat concussed, saw the glint of some sort of badge in the moonlight. Oh, thank God! Officer, I...
Stop resisting!
What? No!